Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Welcome. It's been such a long time since I've done that, and honestly I'm just so excited to be doing this. I've missed this. I've missed interacting with you all. Thank you so much for your patience. What was actually supposed to be a 2-month break just to get my mind together has turned into 9 good months and very close to a year. And I said a year will not go by without me recording this video. So here I am to tell you I'm so sorry I've been gone, but prioritizing mental health, my mental health, is always a priority for me. If you are familiar with my channel, then you would have seen my previous video, and I'll link it here, called I Am Fat and Ugly, or Story Time. And essentially I went through exactly the same kind of struggles as I discussed there. So if you're following me on Instagram, you'll see that I had another baby. So I had another son in August of 2021. I was recording videos, I was pregnant. I didn't necessarily want it to be on social media. The pregnancy was a lot. I will save that for a different story time. The labor was a lot. I will update you on that too. But I just got to a point where being on the camera was an absolute struggle. Looking at my nose, nitpicking every single piece of weight I had put on. Honestly, it just became so overwhelming to be editing videos, to be recording videos, to be on the camera all the time, and just seeing myself. I could see that, like, mentally and emotionally, especially with when you're pregnant and all your hormones are everywhere as it is, there's just a lot going on physically, emotionally, mentally. I was worried about if I would cope with 2 under 2. For those who follow my channel, you'll know that I relocated from London to the USA, and so I have literally no community, no village, and I do a lot. So I was so worried about, you know, how I would make this all work, how I would cope. Yeah, it was a lot of things. And I think that I mentally and emotionally got to a place where I was like, okay, I have to let go of some things. And for me, the one that I needed to let go of the most was YouTube, because I just couldn't, I got to a place where I couldn't bear to see myself on camera. And it's been a struggle. Yeah, it's been a real struggle. And I've been working really hard on getting myself back to a place where mentally, emotionally, I feel ready to be on the camera again. And I've been slowly building that up again. At the end of my story time, I shared some of the tips that I've used, and I'm sure that anyone who's had any kind of struggles with body image would really resonate with this. But I typically avoid being in front of a mirror, in front of cameras for long periods of time, because then I end up really nitpicking, and then just my mind spirals into just a really unhealthy place. So I thought that after I gave birth, a lot of the weight would come off as quickly as it did with my first son. But in actual fact, complete opposite happened. And after giving birth, I actually started to gain weight while breastfeeding. And the more I would gain weight and weigh myself, the more I would get down and depressed about it. Then I would comfort eat, and I just ended up in a cycle where I was comfort eating all the time. I'm up in the early hours of the morning to feed, and I'm eating. And also, it was also what I was eating. So in a situation where there's no one to support, there's no one around to help, like, I would get to a place where it's like, I'm so exhausted, I have so much to do, and I'm just gonna order something in. And the more I did that, again, the worse it got. And until I got to a point where it's like, this is getting completely out of hand now. Unfortunately, I have a really supporting husband who could see I was getting into like a really unhealthy space, and he could just see how down I was. If I'm completely honest with you, I really dealt with postpartum blues, but I will again speak on that in another video. And essentially I just got to a point where I was like, I'm just so fat and ugly, my body's so different, I don't recognize my boobs, like they just look so different. My stomach, I got stretch marks this time around with this baby. I had never had them before. It was everywhere, all over my stomach, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my stomach's not going down, my mom's not here. You know, maybe it was because last time she was around, she helped me press my stomach, she helped me do this, she helped me do that. Like, it just got to a point where it was like, I have no friends, and then it just escalated. I have no friends, I have no support, like, and it's just, you know, I'm making light of it now because I'm not in that space, but you know, it's always like that. You know, once you're going through something, your perspective changes completely, and some of the things that, you know, perhaps before wouldn't have bothered you as much, suddenly there's a magnifying glass on it, and everything seems so much bigger, so much worse. And when I get into those spaces, very, very quickly, A becomes Z. I could just connect, and, you know, this is happening because of this, and it's happening because of that, and I just continue on that path. And the only thing I was doing in that time was comfort eating, and so I gained a considerable amount of weight. And so I decided that it was so important to just prioritize my health, take a break. I was fortunate enough to travel. We traveled internally. I think we needed that. We went to be with family, my husband's side of the family, and they were exceptional. They really don't know what that trip did for me. I think just being surrounded by loved ones after so long, with everything that's going on in the world, just being loved on in that way, seeing the boys, you know, interact, getting a break, it just really uplifted me and got me into a better mental and emotional space. And so when I returned, and obviously with the start of the year coming, it was timely to just make some big lifestyle changes to really, for the sake of my health, just really address what was going on. I started therapy again. I've just, you know, I just made a list. I literally wrote down a whole bunch of goals and steps that I needed to take to get back into a healthier place. And then I started dieting and exercising again, and I'm happy to say I'm nearly 20 pounds down. It's still a long way to go. 50 more pounds is my aim, but finally I feel comfortable enough to speak on this, and I feel comfortable enough now to be on your screens. So I look forward to sharing so much more of what's been basically going on in the past 9 months, what I've been up to, all the content that I had before that I didn't put up. I had lots of stuff planned. I was doing my London Girl in the USA series, which I intend on continuing. So I just want to thank you all for your patience. I want to welcome all the people who've been subscribing whilst I've been gone. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I believe so much in transparency and community. I recognize that oftentimes when we go through our struggles, it can be incredibly isolating, and it can make us feel like there is something wrong with us, there's an inadequacy in us, and that's why it's specifically happening to us. And sometimes we don't realize how much we have in common with each other. A lot of the times we go through things and it can help somebody else, and we can support one another. And I think especially with everything going on in the world, this is the time to really love on one another, encourage one another, be kind to one another. And so that's what I'm about, and that's why I share. I don't always get the support in sharing so much. Every so often there is a family member who will be like,
do you think you're saying too much? You're sharing too much?
Listen, I've got some videos coming for you too. You guys need to mind what you're doing and let me do me how I choose to do it, okay? Okay. But yeah, I look forward to sharing so much more, and I am doing this because I believe it's part of my purpose and part of my calling, and I'm not going to stop sharing, because every so often there's that one person who reaches out and is like, thank you so much, because I was about to give up, and hearing this from you really changed that. And I do it for that reason. I do it because of that impact. And I'm just hoping that with time there will be a community of people who take off those masks, release that pressure to be anything other than what God really has called you to be. So stay tuned. I look forward to sharing so much more with you as the months go by. Until next time, take care, people. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Mon E is back in the building, baby.